Live. We are live. I don't want to learn about that. We're live. We're live.
Not here to learn.
Oh, hold on. I'm just sitting down. If you guys don't know why we're here, you're about to learn. It's about to get hypnotic in here. Right?
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
We listen to Facebook. We would like this to be the most watched Facebook video
And YouTube
that we ever do. So we are sitting here. Wait till Matt comes back.
I'm back.
Adjusting the
I'm
screen.
good.
We are sitting here in the office of Dr. Eddie Rose, and we are super excited. As you know, Matt and I have been. How long have we been promoting this now? For a couple of months since we started talking about.
I'd say so. Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah, so we've had the really unique gift and pleasure to spend time with you on Thursday nights and just hang out and talk and to learn not just about his background and all the really amazing things that he's accomplished in his life, but about his heart and what he really wants to do with other people and how to help them. And so we're going to have some fun today for one purpose. And I'm going to say this, and then you guys please feel free to comment on top of it, but I was so moved when we had the chance to watch Dr. Eddie do hypnosis live in a really, would you say, unconventional environment. It was
yeah.
In a group setting. There was music in the background. It was not quiet. It was not calm. There were 30 or 40 people talking, but there were two individuals that had agreed to say, yeah, I want you to do hypnosis on me. One very compliant, one very resistant. And what we witnessed was so overwhelming that Matt and I both felt so compelled to say that if you could witness what we saw, you would absolutely beat the door down to find and spend some time with Dr. Eddie Rose for one reason: to free your mind of all the junk. And I'm going to say this a million more times, but everybody I know at some point either still or was suffering from anxiety, stress, fear of judgment, the limiting beliefs, the lack of self-worth, the whatever. And that's what the whole point and goal for Matt and I is to be able to show you, if you do, you no longer have to anymore unless you choose to suffer from or be limited by or be blocked by or be hindered by, and fill in the words that you need. That's what today is all about. So we're going to entertain you. We told Dr. Eddie anything you want to do to help the folks watching on Facebook realize this is real and this will work on me too. Matt?
Yeah. I just have two things to say before we start. Number one is that it's called life, and the purpose of life is to live. So if we could live at if we could live our best life, that's a buzz phrase, a catchphrase that people use, but live in your best life. Why would you not? If you have the choice to live here or to live here, everybody would choose to live here. But there are subconscious things at work, not even conscious, because if you're conscious, then you would let them go. There are subconscious things that are affecting us living our best lives. So if hypnosis is the tool to use to get you to live your best life, why would you not do it? Which leads me to the second thing I was going to say. We are on Facebook and we are on YouTube and we are live. So this is not edited. It's not going to be edited in any way, which I hope you keep inside your head. I don't want you getting too crazy. Okay?
It's all about having fun.
Yeah, I don't need to get edited.
Not
everybody needs to know John's wearing a thong right now. Okay? So this is live, so you can see. You can see the process, and if you believe, we'll talk about it later, but if you believe that this is the tool that you would like to use, of course Dr. Rose will tell you how to get a hold of him and to help you live your best life as well.
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say. I'm out.
Well, I want to say a couple things, and one is that the reason why I'm doing hypnosis is that I realize we all have the same issues. And I'm sure some of you have heard me say this before, is being in touch with or being involved with the spiritual community, in touch with people who are doing martial arts, people who are artists, people who are just creative people, musicians, singers. We all come to a place where we reach our plateau. We reach that ceiling that we can't get by. And And the question is are you going to let that ceiling stop you? Or are you going to let that keep you where you're at? And a lot of people live their whole lives and they never get beyond that. And what I discovered, and I wanted to share with people, is that you don't have to be limited by that perceived ceiling. Is that you can go far beyond that. And in my life right now, it's an adventure. And when I say adventure, it doesn't mean that it's always good and everything is smooth. And if you ever watched the Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know that's a wild ride. I love that movie because it was one of the first movies that I sat and watched, and you just ran the whole time. And as soon as you relax and say, okay, and then something else happens. And so life can be like that, but you win at the end, and you're having fun. When you're watching that movie, you're enjoying it. Because you know that ultimately it's going to be a good ending. Oh, yeah. And so what my life is an adventure, but it's all about feeling good. It's all about not being held back by whatever it is that's holding you back. To have hope and have an expectation that you can get beyond it. And so that I'm doing that in my own life. And so I want to share that. So I've stopped pretty much everything. My passion has been martial arts since I was 12 years old. And I've actually had that on hold. And I still work out myself, but I'm not teaching. I'm not, I have just somebody begged me to teach them Qigong. I said, okay. But that's the only reason why I'm doing it. All my focus is on hypnosis. And the only reason for that is that I want to help people get past their blockages. I want to help people delete those mental viruses that they have. I want to help people get beyond those ceilings, those plateaus, whatever they are, so that they can excel in any area they want to. And that's what it's really all about. It's not about just having fun. It's not in a sense of having fun where you're hypnotizing people, making them do ridiculous stuff.
It's funny.
That's why we're here. But to your point on that, that's what validates seeing it. Meaning, the goal is to heal and to remove all the blocks. But people can't believe that because it's not visible. But by being able to do the entertainment part of it and show people, there's no way he's willingly doing this. He's doing this because he's now in the hypnotic trance, is that validating proof that this really does work, and if it works this way, imagine what it can be doing on a healing level. That's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and it's really learning. It's learning in its most pure sense. When from birth to about 7 years old, you're a sponge. You are somebody who's just everything about you is about learning. And your unconscious mind is receiving as much data as it possibly can, so you can continue on in your life. And so this thing called hypnosis is kind of bringing you back to that. Okay. And if there's some information that is no longer serving you, if you have some type of memory that is hindering you and holding you back, in that state, in that place we call hypnosis, is that you can delete those. I mean, it's like that. You see, I do this all the time. You see me snap my fingers because that's how fast stuff happens. So snapping of the fingers is very significant. It has a lot of symbolism, and I use it all the time in hypnosis because that's how fast it is. It's crazy. So hypnosis is the fastest, the funnest, and the most effective way of dealing with bad programming that I've ever seen. I don't know anything else. You have all kinds of break-offs from hypnosis that claim that, but in my opinion, the way my system of hypnosis, rose hypnosis, is the fastest way of dealing with stuff.
Wow, awesome.
What do you think, guys?
I think it's great. So you could literally person 2.0 is what you can do.
It's awesome.
Living your best life, and that's focus on the good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So it's not really about, people think it's not putting anybody under any power. Right. It's your power. It's releasing. Right. It's your unconscious mind's in control anyways. You're just not aware of it. Right. And so what happens is that hypnosis brings you to that awareness. Because you can have your conscious mind aware of something and saying, if whatever I do, I have people, forget their names. If I don't know if I will have these guys forget their names or not because they're so awesome. But anyways, you know your name. you know your name, but your unconscious mind overrules it and says, no, you don't.
Right.
It's awesome, but that's not, it's you. And it shows the power of your unconscious mind. So it's the same way of dealing with something. Say, I've had this problem my whole life. I've had it for 20 years. And the unconscious is like, well, now you don't.
Yeah.
Like that. It's crazy, dude. I'm so excited. I'm excited about everybody that sits in front of me. I'm excited about my own life because I keep applying them. You know, I used to think I was the worst human being on the planet. You know, I had more problems than anybody else. I don't know if you've ever been there or not. But, you know, and so I am like eradicating all that. All that foundation that made me think, all those memories that made me feel as though I was somebody that was worse than somebody else, that's all being eradicated. Mm-hmm. Now I think of myself as a genius. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, we're all potentially genius. Not that I'm esteeming myself above other people.
But you freed yourself from all that negative self-talk.
Yes, there's nothing that I can't learn. And it's just a matter of going through a process. Yeah. So what's going to happen today is just simply going to be a learning process. Mm-hmm. And these guys are going to firsthand learn, or it's like a discovery. It's like explore. I use the word exploring and discovery all the time because that's what it is. And when you explore something and you discover something, that is the thing that activates or fires new neurons. So you got neurons there that ain't used. And so, in my opinion, and I haven't been able to document this yet, but in my opinion, that when you go through this process, I'm talking about rose hypnosis, new neurons are being fired. So you're actually leaving me smarter than when you came in.
That's always a good thing.
I know it's hard to believe with these guys, but... You know,
that's fantastic.
Neurons, we'll call them neurons.
Neurons.
All right, cool.
So I'm going to really be just, spontaneous. The room, I love it. The room is not your typical room. We got bright lights, and bright lights are usually a no-no when it comes to hypnosis. It doesn't matter. You've seen me hypnotize people with music blaring and people walking around and stepping over you and bumping into you and sitting down beside the person you're hypnotizing and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it still works. Right. And so that comes from, with me, having confidence in what I do. I've done it enough and I understand it. That's the beauty of it. When you understand how the conscious mind, somebody says, well, I read that only a certain percentage of the population can be hypnotized. And I say, I disagree. They can only be hypnotized by maybe a particular style of hypnosis. Right. But everybody experiences this thing called hypnosis all through your day. You ever just sit there and just kind of just zone out and daydream? Well, that's the same state of mind that you are in when you're in hypnosis. Before you go to bed every night, you have to just don't jump into delta, brainwaves. You have to gradually get to that point. That process of gradually is hypnosis. You're just not doing anything with it. There's nobody that's kind of guiding you or anything, but you all experience it. Every person experiences it. Just when you wake up in the morning, you don't just snap out. If you do, that's not good. Right. So I'll help you with that. But you normally kind of gradually wake up. You're groggy, and it's like, okay, you ever get up and get up and use the bathroom, come back, and then lay back in bed and say, oh, I really should get up and use the bathroom. I said, wait a minute, did I do that? You were kind of in that trance state when you did that. That happens all the time. You're driving and your mind's preoccupied and you've driven 10 miles and you don't remember driving the 10 miles because your unconscious mind was in control. Your unconscious mind was trained to deal with that while you were daydreaming and thinking of something else. It was in control. It's always in control. And so that is what I express in this process of hypnosis. So even now, what I'm doing, this is all psychological. This conversation that I'm having with these guys and they're watching me and they're nodding their head. That's all a process because it's nothing. It's no me doing woo, 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 power. They're under my power. It's not that at all. It's just understanding how the mind works. And so when you understand how the mind works, you adjust. There's certain ways that I could normally hypnotize people in this room. I can't do it. I'm smart enough to know that I'm not going to use that particular technique because it's not going to be effective in the environment we're in. Same thing with in being in the Kava Bar or downtown Fort Myers or wherever I'm doing it, you have to be smart enough to know what technique you can use. You also got to know the fact that you got to kind of understand who you're dealing with, because you don't want to say, go to sleep and then they fall and crack your head open and they're stretched out in an emergency. You gotta be smart. You gotta understand. You gotta know how to do things. And so not only do I use that, but I try to teach people that and how the mind works, understanding how your unconscious mind works and how it can benefit you, and that you no longer have to be hindered by past experiences, past trauma. Because it's all there. It's all about memories. It's all about what's been programmed in your head. And then you're also, I'm going to say one more thing and then we'll get to it, but our society is filled with messages that are seeking to put you under its control, to try to persuade you to do something. And so when you start understanding how your unconscious mind works, it empowers you so you're naturally resistant to that. I see stuff now and it's like, and excuse my language, but I say BS, that's bullshit, and I move on, excuse my language. But I don't have any other word for it. It's just something that is, I just no longer give it any credence, and you start doing that in your life and you find you're gaining more and more freedom. And there's certain things that I tell people, if you want to gain more understanding and more cooperation with your unconscious mind, certain things you just have to stop doing. You cannot be a television junkie. Right. I'm sorry. You're under hypnosis every single day, and it's not positive. And so people say, oh, I'm afraid of hypnosis. If you watch television, I'm afraid of television. Me, you don't have to worry about me. It's the television that you need to worry about. Yeah, because it's seeking to.
It's called programming.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right. Well, let's keep rolling.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, all fun and games. Okay. So, this is the best part. So, laughter is something that's very powerful. So, comedians, a lot of the people who do stage hypnosis, they're like comedians, and they're cracking jokes all the time. Well, that's part of the process. When you're laughing, you know what's happening in your brain when you laugh? The chemicals are being released.
Oh, right.
Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, those kind of things are being released in your brain. And so that is what it's all about. So that makes you more compliant, because you start relaxing and you start feeling more and more relaxed because you're feeling better and you're laughing and you're like, okay. Before you were tense, and then you start laughing, you start laying back, and you start feeling better and better. And so that is all part of this thing called trance, this thing called hypnotic sleep. It's like a magic word that I use. When I say sleep, people just go, because it's a magic word, right? Think it's a magic word? It is a magic word. It's a magic word because of its perception. Everybody knows what that word means, and they know what's supposed to happen when that happens to you. When that word sleep happens to you, then you know what's supposed to happen. And you know that you get drowsy, you know that you start getting more lightheaded, more relaxed, and slowly but surely your eyes begin to close. That's what happens when you sleep, right? Agree with me? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what happens. Okay. So whenever I do say sleep, then you know what should happen, right? You should go to sleep. But hypnotic sleep is a little different than your regular sleep. When you're in hypnotic sleep, you are aware of everything that goes on around you. You know you have total control of the functions of your body. You're aware of your environment. You're aware of where you're at. All that stuff. It's just with hypnotic sleep, you just don't really care. You just kind of say, all right, I'm going to go with this because I want to. You get me? Mm-hmm. So that is the difference between regular go-to-bed sleep and hypnotic sleep. Hypnotic sleep, you feel the drowsiness, you feel the relaxation. You feel all the things that you feel when you go to sleep, but you're in total control. You're aware. As a matter of fact, in hypnosis, you're hyper aware. You're aware of if I drop a pin, you could hear that pin drop. It's not so. Some people when they sleep, you can set off a gun and they don't hear it. It's not so with hypnosis. With hypnosis, you just don't care. So you hear it go off and go bam, and you're like, I don't really care. Yeah, I don't care. And so what's going to happen with you guys is that no matter what you hear inside and out of the room, no matter what's going on, you don't care. All you're going to care about is relaxing and listening to the sound of my voice. Because my voice is your guide. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to do something. I want you both to look at my finger. The tip of my finger, right? Just focus your attention on my finger. The beautiful thing with hypnosis is that in Star Wars, they use the Jedi mind tricks, and usually the Jedi mind tricks work on people who are weak-willed or not that smart. It's the exact opposite with hypnosis. The more creative you are, the smarter you are, the more focused you are, the easier you can be hypnotized. That's right. So focus totally on my fingers, tip of my fingers. If I move them, you follow. That's right. Totally focus on my fingers. Focusing. 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 That's right. That's right. That's right. Focusing. That's right. Doing good. Totally focused. And close your eyes and sleep. Deeper. Close your eyes. Sleep. Sleep. That's right. Relax. Sleep. That's it. Focus your attention on your breathing. Breathing in and out. In and out. That's it. It's all about focus. Focus on your breathing and on the sound of my voice. Nothing else really matters. Nothing matters. The brightness of the room doesn't matter. Noises outside don't matter. Breathing in and out. In and out. Listening only to the sound of my voice. That's right. With every inhale and exhale, you're becoming more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable. That's it. Deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. And as I speak, my voice is your guide. My voice is hypnotic. My voice is relaxing. And as you focus, whenever you inhale few seconds, not quite yet, but in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 10 to 0. And as I count from 10 to 0, you're going to go deeper and deeper in this wonderful relaxation. It feels so good. In which, with each number that I speak, you're finding that you feel better and better and more relaxed. With each number that I speak, you become more and more relaxed. And when I reach 0, you'll be deeper than you've ever been before, more relaxed than you've ever been before. An amazing, hypnotic sleep. 10, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. 9, still deeper, so relaxed, so comfortable. 8, deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. 7, still deeper. 6, feeling really, really good. 5, feeling really good, relaxed, comfortable. Still listening to the sound of my voice. Though you're aware of everything, you don't really care. It's all about relaxing, being in the moment, enjoying the now. 4, deeper and deeper. 3, so relaxed now, so comfortable. 3, deeper and deeper, still listening to the sound of my voice. 2, so relaxed, so comfortable. 2, so deep. 1, so relaxed, still listening to the sound of my voice. 0, so deep, so relaxed, not caring about anything, just relaxing. That's right, you're doing really good. With every inhale and exhale, you become more and more relaxed. That's right. With every beat of your heart, you're feeling this wonderful, comfortable relaxation from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. Doing really, really good. That's it. In a few seconds, I'm going to do a little test with you guys. And this test is real simple. I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and then close them. When I ask you to open your eyes, you open them. When I ask you to close them, you will close them. But when you do that, when you open and then close, you're going to go even deeper in relaxation. And you're going to even feel better and better each time you do it. If you understand, nod your head. Good, good, good. So in a few seconds, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and then I'm going to ask you to close them. And when you do that, you're going to be even more relaxed, even more comfortable. You're going to feel really, really good. Open your eyes, close them, close them. That's it. That's it. Deeper and deeper. Open your eyes and close them. Deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. That's it. Open your eyes and close them. Still deeper. Yeah, that was really good. You guys are doing really good. Excellent, excellent. Every breath, every inhale and exhale, becoming more and more relaxed, more and more comfortable. With every beat of your heart, feeling better and better, better and better. That's right. so relaxed, so comfortable. You're in a safe place, a place that feels really, really good. I'm going to do something in a few seconds, and this is part of the reward of allowing me to hypnotize you. I'm going to touch you on your, let's say, your right shoulder. And when I touch you on your right shoulder, you are going to feel this amazing, wonderful rush of pleasurable energy. It'll be a gentle feeling, a gentle rush that will go from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. And it's going to feel really, really good. So in a few seconds, I'm going to touch you on your right shoulder. And when I touch you on your right shoulder, you're going to feel this wonderful, pleasurable experience. It'll be all over your body. It'll start from the touch, go to your head, all the way down to the soles of your feet. If you understand, nod your head. Good, good, good. So when I touch you on your right shoulder, and every time I touch you on your right shoulder, you're going to feel this wonderful rush of pleasure. It's going to be awesome. It's going to feel really, really good. Feel it? Feel it. That's it. Feeling so good. And as you feel this pleasure, the more you feel it, the more relaxed you become. Feel it. That's it. And feel it. That's it. That wonderful pleasure. Now this pleasure that you're experiencing is really, really good for you. It relaxes you more. It relaxes you on a mental level. It relaxes you on an emotional level. And it relaxes you on a physical level. It's a complete relaxation because it feels so freaking good. And it's good for you. Each time I touch your shoulder, each time I touch you, it increases even more. And it feels even better. And it gives your body an opportunity to heal. In this state of pleasure, you're in homeostasis. That means your body is balancing everything out. It's enabled itself to heal in a way that it could not do while you're awake. Feeling so, so amazing. So good. And every time, as long as you're in hypnosis today, every time I touch you on your shoulder, you're going to feel that wonderful pleasure no matter what. And it's going to keep getting more and more intense, stronger and stronger, stronger and stronger. Feel it. That's it. It's so good for you. This is a wonderful opportunity to just let go. Just release and allow that wonderful pleasure to do what it needs to do. Allow it to heal, allow it to set free, allow it to release. Any encumbrances, any blockages, anything that's been holding you back, this amazing, wonderful pleasure is releasing that now. That's it. Feeling so good. So amazing. That's right. And every time I hypnotize you, anytime I hypnotize you, you're always going to feel this pleasure. It's always going to feel good. Never ever is it going to be something that feels awkward or embarrassing or foolish or anything like that. It's always going to feel good. It's going to feel pleasurable because that is our true state. That is where we are, where we function the best. And ultimately, as we do this every time I touch you, what it does is that it teaches your unconscious mind to give you that pleasure all the time. Slowly but surely, little by little, this pleasure will be coming forth in your personal life. As you do the things that you love to do, you're going to experience more and more pleasure in it. As you do the things that you fulfill your destiny, the things that make you happy, you're going to feel more and more pleasure in it. And it's going to enlighten your life. It's going to light your life up. It's going to be wonderful. You don't need any outward stimulus. You don't need anything to stimulate on the outside. You don't even need relationships or any of those things to make you happy because you discovered that you have it within you. That's right. And as you fulfill your destiny, as you walk out your goals and your mission and your dreams, that you're going to find pleasure. More and more pleasure. As you give to people, as you love people, you're going to experience more and more pleasure in it because that's your destiny. That's what you're called to do. That's right. Enjoy that. That's it. That's right. With every inhale and exhale, you're feeling it more and more. It's absolutely awesome. This time of hypnosis is like a mini vacation. It's all about feeling good. We deserve to feel good. It is our birthright. It is something that we all deserve. It's why we're here. And as you're experiencing this wonderful pleasure and this deep relaxation, you're coming to that conclusion. In a deep, subconscious way, you're realizing that, yes, I'm here to be happy. I'm here to fulfill my mission, to love people, to give to people, to fulfill my destiny. And it is an amazing source of pleasure. That's right. That's right. That's right. And as you're enjoying this pleasure and this relaxation, you're becoming more and more relaxed. You're releasing more and more, becoming more comfortable with this thing called rose hypnosis. It's actually really cool. It feels really, really good. That's right. Because you're in a safe place, because you trust me and you know that my intention is only for your highest good. I'm your hypnotist and your guide. And my job is to help you reach your highest self, your best self, and to fulfill your highest good. And that's my job, and that's what I do. And in this time of hypnosis, that's what it's all about. And because of that, everything I say, every word that I utter will instantly and immediately become your reality. No matter how silly, how foolish, how impossible it may sound, it doesn't matter, because everything that I say, every word that I utter will be instantly your reality, no matter what I say. If you understand, nod your head. Beautiful, excellent. Okay, in a few seconds, not quite yet, but in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And when I get to 3 and snap my fingers, you're going to open your eyes. You're still going to be in hypnosis. You're still going to be in a deep trance. But you'll be able to talk to me, and you'll be able to share whatever, discuss whatever we discuss. And you'll have no problem with that. And you'll feel wonderful and great while you do it. And so when I count from 1 to 3, when I reach 3 and snap my fingers, you'll open your eyes. And you'll be able to carry a conversation with me. But when I snap my fingers and say sleep, you're going to go right back to where you're at right now, in a deep hypnotic sleep, even deeper than you are now, 10 times deeper. You understand? Nod your head. Beautiful. So in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And when I say 3 and snap my fingers, open your eyes, sit up, and we'll have a conversation. And then when I snap my fingers and say sleep, you'll go right back to where you're at. 1, 2, 3. How you guys feel?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Does it feel good? Yeah. You feel the touch on the shoulder?
I felt, yeah.
Yeah. You crack me up. So you guys are 2 different people. So it's interesting because when you do the hypnosis with you, I'm doing the exact same thing with both of you, but I gotta watch you differently. You're the martial arts guy. You're the guy that, that when I said sleep, you were like, what? What's up? You was ready to fight. You went out, you were ready to fight. I said, no, it's okay, and you went out. So it's amazing how everybody's different, but the general way our brain works is exactly the same. Sleep. That's it. Deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. That's it. Deeper and deeper. You guys are doing really, really good. All right, I'm going to do a couple of little tests. Everything is fun. Everything that we do in Rose Hypnosis is for the feel good. And so I'll never do anything that is too crazy or too weird that doesn't feel good. It'll always feel good. You'll always enjoy it. That's right. Just relax. That's right. With every inhale and exhale. That's right. That's right. Doing really, really good. So I'm going to do a series of tests, and these are all for the purpose of just deepening your ability to respond to hypnosis, and also to kind of create new neural pathways that will assist you in your everyday life. If you understand, nod your head. That's it. Good. So everything that I'm doing, everything that I do is all for your benefit, and everything that I do, your response, the result, the consequence of it is you're going to feel good each time. And of course, each time I touch you on the shoulder, you're going to feel that too. That's it. Every time. Increases every time. That's it. Doing really, really good. So in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I count from 1 to 3, get to 3, snap my fingers. You're going to open your eyes. And when I snap my fingers and say sleep, you're going to close your eyes and go right back to where you're at. Only 10 times deeper. If you understand, nod your head. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, you guys are doing good. Sleep. Deeper and deeper. Deeper and deeper. That's it. That's it. It's all about learning. Teaching your unconscious mind to say it's okay to be in control. It's all right. It's about training the conscious mind and the unconscious mind to work together. That's right. Deeper and deeper, more and more comfortable. That's right. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes. Yeah. Keeps feeling better and better. Yeah, it's all learning. And sleep. Deeper, 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 deeper. That's it. That's it. Everybody's different. That's the beauty about understanding the mind. Our conscious mind are generally the same, but we're all different personalities. We have different responses to things. And it's always so amazing to watch people and watch how they respond and see the uniqueness. I can do hypnotize 20 people, and everybody will have slight different response, but they'll all respond generally the same. It's pretty crazy. It's amazing stuff. That's right, guys. Deeper and deeper, feeling so relaxed, so comfortable. That's right. You're doing really, really, really good. That's it. That's it. With every beat of your heart, that's it. More and more relaxed with every inhale and exhale. Feeling really, really good. That's right. So in a few seconds, I'm going to count from 1 to 3 again. When I get to 3, guys remember, when I snap my fingers, I'll say 3, snap my fingers, you'll open your eyes, and you'll be wide awake. But this time, it's going to be a little different. This time, I want John, I want you to recite a poem. And this poem is something that you've known for years. It's a poem that you love. But I want you to recite the poem in Chinese. And you'll have the ability to do that. You'll just recite the poem in Chinese, and it'll be really cool. If you understand, nod your head. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. That's right. Beautiful. In a few seconds, I'm going to snap my finger. I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, I'm going to snap my finger, and you're going to open your eyes and be wide awake. And John is going to recite a poem for us, okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh, how you guys feel? Good, good, good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. You wanted to recite a poem to us? You wanted to recite a poem?
What poem?
I don't know. It was a poem that I thought you wanted to recite. poem you wanted to recite?
Roses are red.
Okay. Whatever poem you wanted to recite. Okay, go for it, man. Recite it for us.
Roses are red.
You don't remember? You said you were going to recite it in...
Chinese?
Yeah.
No Chinese though.
Yeah, you do. This time you do. You're the one that wanted us to recite the poem in Chinese, right? I thought you said that. This is recited in Chinese. Okay, here it goes, the magic thing here. I'm going to touch you on your hat, and as soon as I touch your hat, you're going to know Chinese. Boom. There you go, now you know Chinese.
Roses are red. Violets are blue.
But you know Chinese, you still don't do it in Chinese. You don't remember Chinese? Okay, sleep. Deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. That's it. That's it. Feeling really good. Really, really relaxed. That's it. Deeper and deeper. Feeling really, really good. Feeling really, really good. That's good. Okay, guys, both of you. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3 thing again. When I count to 3, you are going to sit up and open your eyes again, talk with me. And only difference is that the position that you're in, you can't move. Your hands will be stuck together. You'll be stuck in a chair, and you won't be able to get up. If you understand out of your head. This is the beauty of hypnosis. It's so magical. All these wonderful things can happen. And everything that I say to you, every word that I speak will instantly become your reality because it feels so good. 1, 2, 3. How you guys feeling? Feeling good? All right. I know you've been sitting there for a while. You can't. Oh, stretch out a little bit. You guys stretch up. You want to? Oh, how's it feel, guys? Feel good? What's wrong? What's wrong, man? What's going on, John?
Hands are stuck.
Your hands are stuck? Try to pull it apart. I know no matter how hard you try, it's still going to be stuck, but you can try anyways. Try to pull them apart. Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it? How about you, man? How you doing? Good. Can you stand up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a lot of defense mechanism, I think.
Hmm?
I think I have a lot of.
You're doing good. Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You're doing good.
I want to be like this.
Yeah, no, you're doing really good. Okay. Doing really, really
You
good.
have to hit me in the head. I want that.
Yeah. All right, man. You guys are doing good. See, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. Feeling better and better. Better and better. That's it. That's it. Deeper and deeper. It's all about feeling good. Feeling that pleasure. Feeling that pleasure. Deeper and deeper. That's right. It's all about learning. That's it. That's all that's happening. Is learning on an unconscious level. Do beauty about hypnosis. It's not really about thinking, it's about feeling, about being in the present. We all talk it. It's a popular thing to talk about. But in hypnosis, you literally experience it. And so many times our programming is that feeling. That's it. Our programming. That's it, feel it. It's all about feeling. That's it. Feeling better and better. That's it. My main job is, my main intention is for you guys to feel good. Everybody. There's nobody who sits in front of me that it's all about feeling that deep relaxation and pleasure. And so one of the reasons why I don't just do one session anymore, but I can do one session, but I usually recommend 3, because we've been programmed not to enjoy pleasure, or rarely isolated circumstances and situations. And so you have to kind of retrain the mind so that it's accepting this wonderful experience of relaxation and pleasure. And once that happens, usually it takes a session or 2, but once that happens, the magic really takes place. It's really exciting to see how many people are benefited through this. So right now, we're experiencing, I'm not going to have these guys do anything silly or foolish, but it's all about them really getting this experience of this pleasure, this enjoyment, that unconditional. There's nothing that there's no purpose behind it other than for them to really enjoy it. You know, I could have them do foolish stuff, but they probably won't like it. I don't know why I do that. I want them to enjoy themselves. Even when I have to do these silly things, your hands stick together, you know, and things that I do, it's all about feeling good, because that's the motivation. It's about feeling good. It's releasing those brain chemicals and creating new pathways, so that becomes something that is the norm instead of the thing that happens infrequent every once in a while to get pleasure. And once we begin to discover that we have all this within us, we don't need drugs anymore. And I'm talking about drugs, illicit, illegal drugs. I'm not talking about what a doctor prescribes, but I'm talking about, getting, satisfaction outside of us. We realize that we have it all within. And so the greatest benefit this time, and I'm going to hypnotize these guys again, so, this is like the first session. It's me, it's like an introduction, it's opening them up. And anytime I do it out in the street, or I do it at, out in everyday life, it's really introducing people to the fact that this thing is real, and that it exists, and that it is actually for them. And so, as you can see, these guys are both knocked out. And they are in various levels of what we would call trance, because they're different people. There's no right or wrong. It's just some different, if I was working with them individually, I'd be working with them differently, because they're 2 great guys that are a dynamic duo, but they're different personalities. And so the thing is that is so important in whenever you're trying to help somebody, that you focus on who they are as a person, as opposed to just doing a cookie cutter approach, or creating something in your mind and then trying to mold somebody into that. That's not what I do. My thing is to allow a person to discover who they are. So if nothing else happens, these guys are getting some discovery going on. They're discovering about who they are, and about the fact that what they need to do to tap into that superpower that these guys have. So in a few seconds, guys, I'm going to have you awaken from this wonderful trance. But before I do, I'm just going to have you enjoy this intense, powerful pleasure. Now, this is what I want you to visualize. I want you to pick a color, like this energy. This pleasure that you're experiencing is an energy. And you pick the color that you think it is. What's best for you? And that particular color is the thing that's going to go all through your body, from the top of your head to the bottoms and the tip of your toes and the bottom of your feet. And I want you to visualize this amazing pleasure all over you. So, Matt, what color is that pleasure for you?
Red.
Red, okay. And what color is that pleasure for you, John?
Green.
Green?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, so that's your pleasure. That's the pleasure that's best for you, the pleasure you like the most. And that is the thing that you're going to allow to flow all through your body. You're just letting go. You're just releasing. There's nothing you got to think. There's nothing you got to do. All you're going to do is say yes to it. You're just going to say yes and allow that energy to flow all through you. And as that energy flows all through you, it's going to strengthen you. It's going to physically make you stronger. It's emotionally going to make you stronger. It is mentally going to make you stronger, because that's what it does. That's the power of this energy that we call pleasure. So when I touch you on your shoulder, you're going to feel it go all through you. I want you to visualize that color going all over you, all through your body. Right now, feel it. Feel it. Visualize it. Use your imagination, the powers of your imagination. See it all over your body, flowing from the top of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet, doing its magic, healing, setting free, releasing. That's it. Enjoy it. You have permission to enjoy it. That's right. Feel it. That's it. That's right. Enjoy it. Like Bruce Lee said, think. Don't think. Feel. Feel it right now. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet. This amazing color. This color is this amazing pleasure, this energy going all through you. Healing. Releasing. Dissolving anything that does not serve you. So that when you leave, when you come out of this hypnotic sleep, you are going to be a better person. You're going to be a stronger person. You're going to actually feel lighter. It's as if some things in your life that no longer serve you have dissolved away. All because you have humbled yourself and allowed yourself to enjoy this amazing, powerful pleasure. That's it. That's it. I really enjoy it. That's it. Allow yourself to absorb it. Allow it to permeate all through you. Feeling so good. That's it. It's dissolving every hindrance, every blockage. That's right. Enjoy it. That's absolutely beautiful. You guys deserve it. This is your birthright. This is something that you deserve. It resides in you. That's right. And this is a safe place that you can actually let go and enjoy it. That's right. And as you enjoy this wonderful color of pleasure, that's right. You're feeling so good. Feeling as if you've been to the gym and you just had a great workout. No soreness, no fatigue, just feeling really great. It's as if you had an amazing vacation where you did nothing but relax. And you're feeling absolutely wonderful. It's as if you had at least 8 hours of sleep, really, really good sleep, and you're feeling so refreshed and so wonderful. In a few seconds, I'm going to count from 0 to 10. When I reach 10, you're going to be wide awake, feeling absolutely wonderful. We're going to talk about what you experienced, and you're going to just feel on top of the world. Everything that I've said to you, everything that I've spoken, you're going to remember everything, and you're going to feel absolutely amazing. And as I count from 0 to 10, you're going to gradually and slowly awaken, totally awaken from this deep hypnotic sleep, but feeling absolutely wonderful. 0, gradually, but slowly awakening. 1, awakening more and more. 2, feeling great, feeling wonderful, remembering everything I say. 3, awakening more and more, feeling absolutely wonderful. 4, doing really good, feeling good, thinking good, everything is good. 6, awakening more and more. That's right. Coming to the awareness of the room. 7, almost awake, feeling absolutely amazing, energized. 9, almost awake, feeling really good, feeling amazing. So happy that you allowed me to hypnotize you on the amazing screen here. 9, almost awake, feeling absolutely wonderful, amazing. 10, wide awake, sitting up, feeling amazing. What do you think, guys? Got the first-hand experience.
That was cool.
Yeah, you guys did really good.
That was cool.
Yeah. Good. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I think like you said, everybody experiences on different levels, right?
Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, I didn't feel like I went as deep as John did.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. I don't know, I wanted to when I saw John.
Right.
I don't know what you remember, what you don't remember. I was laughing, I was like, but I was like, I want to be there too.
Right.
I don't know if I have more defense mechanisms or what, but I was like,
Everybody, so I'm doing, you know, it's very difficult to tailor
I understand.
for 2 people at the same time.
Right.
Because I would be here for hours. So I got to kind of do general stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and you guys got different personalities, different back. It was so funny when they first put you under and I said sleep and you went, you looked at me and I said, it's okay, you're sleeping, but okay. It was like, typical martial arts response. Every martial arts guy, they do that. When I go sleep and I start them, they're like, oh, okay. That's a typical martial arts response. And then you went right under. So it's all about individuals. Everybody's an individual. You were going under. I would play different games with you. When I say games, it's not something that's insulting.
Yeah.
It's a mind game. So I would play that would be different with you. And so for a purpose of, you know, demonstrating, I just did a general way.
Yeah.
And, the room, there's no music in the background. I have, you know, there's bright lights, there's a whole thing. So the fact that we can do it here is miraculous in itself.
Yeah.
You know, and then to balance you guys and just try to feel you guys out, you know, and, you know, and see where you're at is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
You know, and so it is all, you know, it is a thing where once again, I tell people I do, you know, I usually recommend 3 sessions because it's a different type of programming because it's all based on pleasure. It's all based on feeling good. I'm not setting you up any kind of way. There's all kinds of other mind games I can play.
Right.
I don't do those. I don't judge them. Everything's all about the pleasure because when you're focused on that pleasure response, you know, that pleasure, getting those brain chemicals active, all kinds of stuff can happen that I have no idea. You know, you don't have any idea, but they can, because you're letting go of the stress. You're letting go of the anxiety. You're letting go of all these, whatever these things are. Everybody's got them. Everybody's slightly different. Everybody's got something different. So when somebody comes to me therapeutically, I'm focused totally on them. It's all about me watching them. If I was just, you know, hypnotizing, you know, Matt, I'd be watching Matt like this. Mm-hmm. And I'd be watching everything. And then I would be saying things and doing things, watching his unconscious responses to find out what works best for him.
Gotcha.
And then, of course, we would discuss prior to you sitting down in the chair stuff that you want to work on.
Yeah.
And then that kind of gives me keys and understanding. Then the same thing with you. I would be focusing totally on you, you know, it was funny because, you know, the Chinese thing.
Like, I don't know Chinese.
It was like a little kid, he was like, I don't know Chinese.
I was sitting there. It felt like I sunk like completely into the chair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here, and you said a poem. I'm like, I don't know any poems.
Yeah, I didn't know any poems either, so I'm glad we hear it.
Well, but the thing is that you consciously don't know any
Right.
poems.
Oh, yeah, right.
So that's
The only thing that popped into my head was the roses are red, and I'm like, that's just silly because it's Eddie Rose. And that's what I think. And you're like,
Right.
Chinese? I'm like, I don't know Chinese.
right.
But it was weird, and I'm telling you, I felt, the only time I've ever felt like that was in a deep meditation, like deep meditation, where my hands would lock and it would feel like I couldn't move anything.
Right.
That's how it felt, sitting here.
Right.
It felt like everything kind of sunk in, and I was just kind of like in a cocoon or something.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. There's exercises you can do. Cool. There's things that I say exercises, because that's how I look at it as exercises. Yeah. You can do, collapsy, where you're catatonic. And I can have you where you can't, or having paralysis. This is all things that your unconscious mind does. And for the purpose of doing those things, I'm not trying to entertain anybody. Right. It is really seeking to show you that your unconscious mind is in control. Right. And so, whenever, for instance, when I say, okay, you can now speak Chinese, I realize that, okay, what I have to go through a certain process to get you to speak Chinese, because your unconscious mind, if you've ever, if you've learned Chinese, you would be able to speak authentic Chinese. But if you don't, if you've never learned Chinese, your mind will make it up.
My brain started thinking Chinese menus, like
right.
Food.
Right. Yeah.
No, for real. Like I'm thinking, because if you didn't say a poem, I probably would have just started naming Chinese food. Because that's where my brain went.
Yeah.
Went poem, Chinese. I'm like, instantly, like a Chinese menu right in front of my face.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And if I was on stage, I would run with that a little bit. And say, okay, this is the deal, and then I would have you speak in Chinese. Well, not legitimate, authentic Chinese.
Just
it would be his made-up Chinese. But the unconscious mind said, okay, this. And it would probably sound like it's authentic.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
People's Chinese tattoos.
Yeah, right.
That ain't what that means.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So I can't have somebody do something that they don't actually know. Right. Now there could be something. Now granted, this is a crazy universe. So I'm just dealing with the level of hypnosis that we're doing now. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've seen people do stuff that they tap into. I don't know what they're tapping into, but they're doing stuff, and it's authentic stuff.
Wow.
Where I'm not putting any limits on it, but I'm not trying to claim that that you're going to be able to speak fluent Chinese when you don't know it.
Right.
Common sense. But it is exercise to create new pathways, to show that the unconscious mind can do some amazing things, and for you to cooperate more with your unconscious mind. Many times we have that conflict. The unconscious mind has the programming, but the conscious mind wants to do something else, and it just doesn't. But guess who wins?
The unconscious.
The unconscious mind wins every time. And so that is the importance of learning how to do that.
Are you able to help people? One of the things that I struggled with forever was they call it the monkey mind, the chatter in the mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was weird because you usually have to progress through that to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or to meditate, and it felt like I skipped right past all that stuff.
Yeah.
Into the deeper trance state without the monkey mind, the monkey mind and the chatter.
Right.
So is that something that you consciously?
Because a lot of people have that, and that's not uncommon, especially in our society, the way our life is. Yeah. And there's tricks to doing that. There's tricks to putting that. One of the things that I primed you for is the fact that, and I was talking to you, and the hypnotic induction had already started when I was talking. And you guys are, had your nod in your head and everything, and I was using words that were, that had meaning. They were saying that nothing really matters. I said that probably 10 times. But you hear sounds that don't really matter. It's like blah blah blah, won't really matter. And so what happens is that what happens when your mind's going and you start trying to stop it, you're actually energizing it. But when it doesn't really matter, I'm sure you've heard this, that that what you focus on, you strengthen, right? And it's said a lot of different ways. But if you give something your attention, you energize it. And so when you take your attention off of it, and it doesn't really matter, then that's the thing the monkey mind has to have. It has to have attention. And the moment you take attention away from it, this is like kind of, this is boring. He's not paying me any attention, and then it stops. And that is one of the secrets of doing that with meditation or with hypnosis. So it doesn't matter. You hear a sound, if somebody just came busting in the door, you wouldn't care. Right. Because we've already established it doesn't really matter. Right. So you'll still be in a trance, and I'll be able to say, please, can you mind, and you guys, it wouldn't affect you. And then when you waken from this thing called hypnotic trance, you'll remember, oh yeah, I remember that. I didn't care. Right. That used to, and because that was established, that was the thing that you let your unconscious mind know. It doesn't matter what happens. Right. This is still what we're going to do. Yeah. So no, you guys did really good for your first session. And I never know how a person's going to respond in the first session. Now, if I was doing a stage thing, you would be weeding people out, and you would be doing whatever, and there's steps you would do. I didn't do this. Well, I did the thing where you were stuck in your chair and your hand was stuck, but I would be doing things continuously to either reinforce where you're at or disqualify you from being on the stage. To sort people out. And so, because you're doing it for entertainment. So even though I'm aware of people watching us, I'm not doing it for them to be entertained. Right. I'm looking what's going to best help you. Because anybody that comes in front of me, it's my own personal dedication that I want to make sure that you benefit the most, even though you're two different personalities. Right. So I realized with you were saying, wait a minute, I'm not going as deep as John. And I could see the tension. I could see how you were responding. It didn't really matter. You're doing good, and you did do good. It was really so. I wasn't going to run with stuff because it's enough for you to get used to the relaxation without you being in control. Yeah, you're a control guy. That's how many issues I had. I was watching John. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, come on, relax. Right. Yeah. And so it's all of us. We all have to learn, especially as men. Yeah. It's more of an issue with us men about this control stuff. And so understanding that you're not giving your control to me, right? You're not doing anything that's making you vulnerable. Right. You're giving your control to your unconscious mind. Who's you? Who's the better you, the smarter you, the more powerful you, and that's what you're giving control up to.
And you both know the story of how I finally released all that control a few years back.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up. I had a lot of
gotcha. Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. So, if this was an entertainment thing and to be done, I would have done it differently. Right. But it's not about entertaining you. It's kind of for you to see. Yeah. And I know the people who are watching can see the clear difference in personality and how you're responding. And it's no right or wrong. There's no judgment on it. That shows the difference of people and that it works for everybody. It doesn't. It's because it's me understanding that you have a mind. Now, if we had no mind, then I would say, dude, go sit over there. I'm working on John now. No, the guy's brilliant. So it's a matter of personality, and everybody has different backgrounds. I had somebody say, I can't be hypnotized, and I says, and I was like, really? And he said, no, I know I can't be hypnotized. And I went, oh, you can't be hypnotized. And I kept on talking that talk. Are you sure you can't be hypnotized? Because I don't know, because I think you can be hypnotized, but you think you can't be hypnotized, but you think that you can't be hypnotized because you've never been hypnotized before. But because I get hypnotized all the time, then I think you can be hypnotized. Go to sleep. Right out of line. I made it quicker than what it was. I went on to a point where it was his mind. He was so confused
Shut down.
about his unconscious mind just said, or his critical factor said, "What the hell's going on?" And it just kind of went on pause. And then he went. When I said close your eyes and go to sleep, he went to sleep. He went right into hypnosis.
Wow.
That was understanding that him, because he had talked himself logically into the fact that he couldn't be hypnotized.
Yeah.
And if I would have tried to do relaxation or try to do some other technique, I would have failed. But because I kept talking, and I just made it so confusing that he just like, you could tell his eyes got glassy, that I said, once I seen his eyes get glassy, I said, close your eyes and go to sleep. And he went to sleep. He was knocked out. I mean, he was gone.
That's
You
powerful.
know?
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really powerful, but it wasn't no power. I didn't do something over him. It wasn't me taking control of his will. That part of his mind that had decided that he could not be hypnotized, I just confused it so much that the unconscious mind said, "Oh, I'll take over."
Right.
That's really cool. It's awesome stuff. So it's all about, for me, the more I hypnotize people, the more I understand myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the
That
more
makes
I
sense.
hypnotize you guys, the better you understand yourself.
Cool.
You know, and then it just keeps growing.
And that's important for people to understand.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get lots of questions and have people be able to come out and meet with you on Friday. But
Yeah.
you mentioned that it's something that can be done over and over
Yeah.
with exponential benefit, more than just, hey, it was nice, it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you I'll apologize in advance because it's probably so off target, but it's like exercising. You can go to the gym and work out, but
Absolutely.
if you go to the gym on a regular basis, your body will, even if you don't go every day or 5 days a week, the more you go, the more your body's baseline level of fitness slowly increases. Even if you just went twice a week,
Right.
you may not lose fat, you may not change your body type, but your baseline cardiovascular, your baseline strength will incrementally
Correct.
raise. I'm assuming it's the same way.
It's I use it as exercise when I was doing things. That's when I do an exercise. It's exercise. It's just infinitely faster. You know, those guns didn't take a couple weeks. You know, you come up here. You know, but you know, with hypnosis, it's training, but it's just fast training.
Right.
So this was huge for YouTube. Just that little bit of time, I don't know how we went, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you know, whatever it was. That's huge because, and I had to kind of keep you guys going, and you know, and so it was a training. It really was.
Excellent.
And so you remember what I said? I said that even though you know all the stuff, even though you're awake, you're gonna realize, and you're going to begin to, and please let me know later on. Say, hey. I always tell my clients, let me know good stuff, you know, or bad stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't get a whole lot of bad stuff. You know, one time somebody had some lucid dreams, like, oh my God, you know, and I was like, well, you know, you can control, when it's a lucid dream, you're in charge. So don't let it go negative. I'll help you. Call me. I'll definitely. But they said, well, it really wasn't negative. It was just so freaking real. You know. And I was, well, that's good. Because many times what I do is that I have whatever I'm helping you with, whatever we're working on, I have it reinforced in your dream space. That is the awesomest thing in the world. It makes you excited about going to bed at night because you know that good stuff is happening.
Right.
Because you've already programmed your unconscious mind to do it. Your unconscious mind is like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
That is a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, that was the cool part. I don't know what part of the hypnosis you did it, but when you said visualize a color,
Yeah.
that has been, and anybody that knows me knows this is real. When people used to say close your eyes and imagine something, I've never had any creativity.
Yeah.
Like people would be like, close your eyes and imagine a giant like golden ray. And I'm like, I can't. I'd close my eyes and it would just go black. And no matter how much they talked, I couldn't do it. I have not yet figured out how to have creative visions and all that stuff. Probably the control thing like I talked about. Except this time when you said the color,
Right.
all of a sudden this like neon green just started like washing in from the upper left and the upper right hand corners while my eyes were closed. It was really crazy.
Right.
Which is cool because I don't have that. I'm learning how to have that capacity to do that on my own, but
Yeah. and the power behind that is that I didn't tell you what color it was. I asked you what, and you know, so I was experiencing it too. So when I do hypnosis, I'm watching these guys, but I'm feeling it too. So I'm experiencing it. So it's like the same hypnosis people going first. You know, I'm there. So you're gonna have a hard time not going there because I'm there too. Yeah. So yours was red, yours was green, and mine was blue. Yeah. We're all different. I wasn't going to tell them because mine's blue. I'm going to say blue because now you have to.
Of blue.
Yeah. Now you have to think of it. Yeah. So let you come up with your own. It's your pleasure.
That's funny.
It's what worked best for you.
It was cool.
I thought that too. I was like, that's blue. I'm like, no, it's red. I'm like, I mean, it's purple. No, it's red. So is it what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
so it's kind of funny you said blue.
When you were saying that, I kept thinking I'm wearing a purple shirt, but as soon as you said what color do you want, and instantly I said green.
It doesn't matter. It's what you want.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's what you want, and and as you you learn how to allow you to work with your unconscious mind. You're not like giving up your ability to make decisions. You're giving up your volition to let your unconscious mind. No, you're working together. Your volition, your critical analysis, all that stuff is very important. And we have a lot of intelligent people that are watching us that are intellectuals. These guys are brilliant. You want to utilize that, but you don't want it to hold you back. You don't want your critical analysis to be so freaking critical that you can't do anything. Right. So you got to allow your unconscious mind to bring that creative, imaginative part of you. Every genius that ever wrote anything, they all, somewhere or another, talk about the imagination and how important the imagination is. Einstein has been credited to saying quite a bit about the imagination and saying the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, it's imagination. And your imagination is seated in your unconscious mind. And so as you allow your unconscious mind to cooperate with your critical, your volition and your will and all that part of your conscious mind, the more empowered you become. So it's one mind. It's just that we're only conscious. That's why we break it up, because it makes it more simple. You're conscious of a certain 5%, and if you're really good, 10%. But there's this other 95 or 90% of your mind that you're not conscious of. That controls all the everything in your body, the
heartbeat,
autonomic nervous system, your heartbeat, your breathing, all this stuff, and amazing stuff, reproduction of cells, managing bacteria, managing all these different things that go on. You want that part of your mind to have more access to your everyday life, and it's waiting for permission. And on the same side, I'm gonna say one more thing. The other thing is that the programming that your unconscious mind recognizes as a part of you. So when you have something happen to you in your childhood, and good or bad, it's program. It's in there. It's part of your programming. So between the day you were born to you're around 7 years old, this programming is all being set in motion. And there's things that happen. We've had trauma. We've had things where little things, like, you got your hand smacked. For a baby, that's devastating. For us, it's, foolishness. But that programming of you not liking the fact that you got your hand smacked, all these other things are attaching itself to that, and it becomes a major hindrance in your life, something so silly. But you can actually go back and look at that and and realize that, or put it this way, just change the pathway to that particular memory, and the whole thing changes. Suddenly, you find yourself free. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It's really simplistic. I'm not trying to be, a neuroscientist or anything when I'm sharing. Try to make it as simple but as accurate as possible.
But it's important because people don't understand. There's a science behind it.
It's
that you have invested ridiculous amounts of time, effort, and energy to learn, that makes it not mystical moo-moo.
Right.
Crazy stuff that people go, that's a bunch of whatever. The reason I was going to interrupt was we talk about affirmations and how important it is to have positive affirmations and completely remove the negative self-talk.
Absolutely.
This, to me, feels like the affirmations on steroids.
Yes.
And the elimination of the negative self-talk, which
Right.
took me years.
Right.
Like again, it's one of those things where it was a good, solid 3 years of failing at that by having people say, "What'd you say? What'd you say?" And like the fourth time, I was like, "Oh," it was like, and it's like, no, you need to completely, they call it wordsmithing, and
Right.
retrain your brain to
Yeah.
always come from a positive and a present tense.
Exactly.
So,
And and when you repeat something, that's the foundation of learning, right?
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that when you do repetition,
Yeah.
ultimately
repetition is
that
the mother of learning.
right. Ultimately, it's going to sink
The
in on
instinct.
then you learn. It becomes right about a part of you. And so there's things that your unconscious mind recognizes as repetition, and that's what I was talking about. Get smacked the hand, and later on it's something else, and then and then it just it's repetition in that one particular area.
Mm-hmm.
And so on a positive, we can change the pathways to that and change that completely by experiencing pleasure and it's not we.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to say that I'm doing it, or it's allowing your unconscious mind, giving your unconscious mind that freedom
Right.
to do
Permission
that,
to do it, sure.
the permission to do it. But on the other hand, is that can you imagine? Because I've done affirmations for years, and I have a particular thing that I teach talking about, the power of words and then connecting it with some of the ancient wisdom and putting that into your words, and just awesome. Now, can you imagine that doing that in a hypnotic state?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, for me, it's been huge. I used to do these affirmations on a regular basis, but when I do it now, understanding about
Right.
where I'm at, and then I add it to my self-talk in this state that we call hypnosis,
Wow.
it is multiplied. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm sure you guys know what I am.
That's the whole key.
That is just so powerful. So what I do when I do, I can't do it in this kind of format, but what I do with my clients is that, particularly on the third week, and when we're focusing on particular things, I can't change your, I'm a wizard, but I can't magically change your whole life, just 3 sessions, but I can I can set things in motion.
Right.
And it's a cooperation. So when I say it's just a force of habit. It is really a participation between me and the person who is so gracious to allow me to guide them.
Right.
So the example that I use, and I don't know how long we're going. I don't want to go forever.
If they want to drop off, they can drop off. This is fun.
So the example that I use, and if you come to me, you'll probably hear this example for a free consultation. And I tell you, this is what hypnosis is that you have this thing that you want to get to. It's this treasure. And it's somewhere, let's say, in northern Florida or wherever you're at. I'm sure we have people watching from all over the world. But it's somewhere that's obscure, out in the boondocks somewhere. And you can't find it. And you've been trying to get to it, and you've failed. So either you've given up, or you're getting frustrated and trying to find it. And you tell me, you say, I've been trying to do this for years. I'm trying to find this treasure. And I say, oh, I know exactly where it's at. How about this? You get your car, fill your car up with gas, you get your car. I'll sit in the passenger seat, and I will direct you to where the treasure is.
You're the GPS.
Yes, right. I am the hypnotic wizard GPS. I know exactly where it's at, because in the boondocks, GPS don't work, so you can't find it by technology. Stuff can't help you find it. You've got to be guided. So I sit there, and I sit back in the chair and recline, and I say, okay, let's go. You're controlling the steering wheel. You're controlling the gas. You determine how fast we go or how slow we go. Example of you guys. There's no right or wrong. It's all about how you want to go, what speed you want to go. So we're driving, and you're totally controlling. I said, okay, make a left. And you turn left. And I said, okay, go straight. Okay, now make a right. And you make a right. And as long as you follow my directions, we'll get to the treasure. You'll get it, you'll enjoy it, and you'll be happy as all get out. And you'll be able to do that. Then one day again, you say, hey, I want to get back to the treasure. I can't quite remember where it's at. Okay, I can guide you again. Ultimately, then usually I talk 3 sessions, sometimes it's more. But ultimately, you're going to learn how to get to that treasure on your own. It's about learning.
Right.
If it's the more complicated it is, maybe the more sessions you need. You know, maybe you work on 1, 2. I usually say 3. That way I can, because it's all your gas is pleasure.
Right.
I got you.
That is the thing that motivates you, that keeps you going. So you don't say, you know what? I don't feel like driving anymore. You know, we've all been there, right? I don't feel like it.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a mile away. You know, I don't feel like it. My leg's tired. I want to eat. I want to go to sleep. You know, so those are all. We all have those excuses, right? The pleasure motivates you to say, okay, if I'm feeling this much pleasure on the journey,
Yeah.
how much more pleasure is the treasure going to be? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. And so if you don't follow my directions, you won't get there. So anybody that sits from me, I don't judge any of what you do. It's all about you following directions. If you just don't listen to me, then I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Right.
But if you follow my directions, it doesn't matter how fast it is. It doesn't matter how fast. You don't have to have a Maserati. We don't have to go 110 miles an hour. You really don't.
Right.
You know, the beauty of hypnosis, if you want to go that fast, I'll put my seatbelts on and, hey, we'll fly. But if you don't go that fast, that's fine.
Right.
It's all about you following directions. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's the
total
simple
sense.
thing. I'm just a guide.
Yeah. Okay. That's
That's a
cool.
great example.
Yeah. And I use that all the time because it's really one of the best examples, the metaphors that I can give about what it's really all about.
You've given me a lot of really great ideas for things that we can do in the future with people based
Yeah.
just on some of the things that you just said.
Yep.
Because that's, again, I know Matt and I are grateful for the time that we get to spend with you.
Yeah, dude.
And we want to be able to communicate that to the people watching so that they understand, hey, if you live in Southwest Florida,
Mm-hmm.
get out here. You're going to get a chance on Friday
Yeah.
to meet Dr. Eddie with us. We'll be at Art Walk on Friday.
Yeah. We hypnotize people on the street.
He's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's actually, I don't want to commit you, but I'm assuming you'll be there Thursday at,
Yes.
as you know, Matt and I are at Kava Culture every Thursday night here in Bonita. And the cool thing is, Dr. Eddie's been there for months. We're just now promoting, instead of him, you see how many times he's in our pictures because we hang out every Thursday and just enjoy time. But he's now actually at Kava Culture in Bonita on Thursday nights doing little sessions and meeting with people. So got 2 times this week if you live in Southwest Florida to come out and spend some time, and I'll stop there. But there's so many cool things that we can do for people to get them past the does it work, what's it all about, to what we're going through. I can't wait to do another session with him. And to learn Chinese, I feel like I'm gonna change your nickname to Morpheus. I'll be Neil. You'll be like, I learned Kung Fu. That's what it felt like. There was a little bit of that.
And I'm not putting this in his head or anything, but it's funny because stuff like this happens. So if you start talking Chinese in your sleep tonight, you know,
I'll call you on the phone and be like, I know how to order now. That was exactly what it felt like, though. Seriously.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff, and so it's all about self-discovery. You know, I tell people I'm not looking to do this because I see dollar signs and it's there has to be exchange of energy.
But you've already shown us that you
Yeah.
do it just because you enjoy seeing the joy on people's faces.
Absolutely.
The smile. If it turns into clients, great. But you do it and it's clear just because you love people and you love what this gift is.
And I try to show people the value of it and how valuable it is. For me, it's the most valuable thing on the planet. It's changed my life, I can't tell you. And so
priceless is the only word.
Yeah,
and I challenge everybody
really
to answer that. What would it be worth to get rid of all of the limiting beliefs, all of the fear of judgment? I mean, you're doing me a huge favor because I've spent over 25 years doing personal growth and leadership development training for people.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what I do or what they do, if they still have the limiting beliefs or worse, fear of judgment, I'm just screaming into a windstorm. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to actually be able to open a door that they have the key to, that either they don't know they have the key to it or they refuse to use it. I can't do that. done everything I
Right.
can, but they're just like pounding on the door.
I literally have a key in my office. You guys have seen that.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Or I give people, and while they're in that state, saying, "Here's the key. This key belongs
That's
to
cool.
you." Now, when that key, I put that key in their hand, now it absorbs into that key. And you use your imagination. Your imagination, there's no limit to your imagination. And so that's part of it. It gives you that freedom. It gives you, we're so analytical so many times. And so in that state of hypnosis, you can really be free. If you're a musician, oh my God. This is, if you're really wanting to sharpen your trade, in my opinion, is that this is one of the ways of doing it. And it's fast. You got to still do your work. It's the same thing. We're martial artists, so we still got to go and do the work. We still do. But when you add this to that training, all of a sudden it enhances you. I don't really see any limit. I was watching a video yesterday, and it was these kids. And I say kids, they're much younger than me. They weren't children; they were adults, but they were doing some acrobatic stuff. Now, I'm not saying I can't do that. That's just not in my game plan. You know what I mean? I'm not interested, but I want to be more proficient in my techniques. I want to be like Neo and Matrix, where I can just ignore you and just block all your stuff. That is a cool thing. That is that's like the ultimate martial arts, where you feel everything, and you're just. It's just simplistic.
You're in the flow.
So many, I'm actually now believe that I can be like some of these masters that I've seen, that just their movements are so effortless. And I've accepted the fact that that's a possibility. I used to think, well, that was them, and I could never reach that. But now I'm understanding that it's a programming. It's like I said in the hypnosis, when Bruce Lee said, don't think, feel. It's like a finger pointing your way to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger, or you'll miss all the heavenly glory. That makes so much sense now, because I understand what it's about feeling. And so that's how the unconscious mind works. The unconscious mind is all about feeling. It's not about calculating and judgment and all these things. That's your conscious mind.
Right.
Keep that there. The unconscious mind. That's why if it identifies something in your life that is a part of you, if it identifies that thing as you, it will protect it. And it will not, because that's what it does. It protects your identity. Your identity, who you are, is being protected. So if it identifies it as being a part of you, no matter how bad and not good it is for you, it will fight you. It will not allow anything to touch it. But once you allow that pleasure to come in, and basically using pleasure, that word, that chemical reaction to kind of reroute that pathway, all of a sudden it no longer identifies it. It's gone like that.
Wow.
Because it was never the thing that was the problem. It was the fact that you somehow...
You attached to it.
Right, yeah. Your unconscious mind identified it as you. I know somebody watching has a problem that they say, well, it's just me.
Right.
But it no longer serves you. It's holding you back. It's making you sick. It's making you depressed. It's giving you anxiety. And so the issue, the thing that needs to happen is that it needs to be identified as not a part of you, but something that is insignificant.
Okay.
And then your unconscious mind will deal with it accordingly. It'll be a memory that no longer has any effect on your everyday life. And it's that simple, but that powerful.
And again, completely off the cuff asking this question. So for people that are watching that are either smokers who are feeling they're addicted to smoking and can't quit, or drinkers who are alcoholics and they're going through AA or whatever and they're trying but they still have it, would hypnosis have an effect, or even possibly a profound effect in helping them if they really wanted to? Because I get that if they don't want to stop, they're going to fight it. But if somebody's actively saying, I'm doing everything I can, I don't want to drink anymore, I'm going through, but then they still relapse every couple of weeks or whatever, is that something that hypnosis helps with?
Yes and no. And when you're talking about certain things that happen in our lives, particularly if you're talking about drug addiction or any kind of severe addiction, it has to do with whether something's chronic or clinical. if it's clinical, and I'm going to be, one of the things that I'm working on is I'm going to be working with some physicians. That's my goal, is that I've been talking to physicians to have them, we work as a team. And so I can deal with the chronic. I can deal with something that is, there, but some things, sometimes addictions are beyond what, you're not in a place, you can't be hypnotized because you're that under the influence of whatever that is. That's when a physician has to help. You need to see a physician. I am not against medical science. I work in conjunction with medical science. I am not a medical doctor. The brothers call me doctor, but I am not a medical doctor. I work in conjunction with medical doctors, and I'm working very diligently. It's actually going faster than what I had originally intended. I was just going to do my hypnosis on the level that I do it, and then ultimately, but things are happening so fast that I
The
need
world
to.
needs you.
Yeah. Well,
No, I'm serious.
Yeah. I mean, it's just things are happening, and so so that's what I'm doing. So I'm not making any claims that one thing, because it really depends on the individual.
Right.
So I have to deal with it on an individual basis, and I have enough experience and enough education to recognize when I need to hand this off to a physician. And after they see a physician, then they can come back, or the physician, I can communicate with the physician. And so I am not claiming, there's some things that's just, so the answer to your question is yes and no.
That's a
It
fair
really,
answer.
yeah. So, but
Because I realize they have to be willing as well. And we can
Yeah.
talk offline about it, because
Yeah.
there's one person in
And
particular I'm
the
thinking
thing
of.
that I really tell people is that there's hope, there's sometimes the answer is not pharmaceuticals. That it's just not the answer. Maybe in conjunction with,
Right.
and sometimes that sometimes medical science has gone as far as it can,
Right.
and I don't make that judgment. I don't do that kind of thing. I make myself an opportunity. This is another source of hope. This is another opportunity. Let's try to deal. Because sometimes,
It's another tool in your tool belt.
yeah, exactly. And when there is, and physicians, I've talked to physicians, and they agree that when there is a blockage here, when there is disbelief, then nothing can help you.
Right.
Sometimes physicians do like this. We'll
What's
try
the
everything.
reverse of a placebo effect at that point?
Right. It's called, yeah.
It's the reverse.
And this placebo, I think is the word is. But when you believe, when the belief is activated, then it opens the door. So even with hypnosis, people who are seeing a physician, I have clients that are seeing therapists. I am enhancing what the therapist. I'm not negating or taking away or competing. I am facilitating any work that's being done with them. It's just now you just kind of got a retro rocket on your butt, and now you're really flying. If you've gotten stuck, then many times the place that's stuck is here, and I might just be able to help you. And so that is what it's all about. So I don't have any axe to grind. I'm not trying to build any kingdoms. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to build the Rose Hypnosis Corporation that will take over the world. I'm going to take over the world. That's not my intention. My intention is that I have discovered things that have really helped me, and in the process of me teaching, in the process of me sitting and talking to people, I felt it was almost like I was compelled to say, what I need to do is focus on hypnosis, because I'm realizing that I've seen so many amazing, talented people stuck. You look at them and say, oh my God, you should be like Superman flying. You should be, you should be, because you see their talent, you see their potential, but then they're just stuck. And the stuck can go like that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And to your credit, so everybody's watching,
Yeah.
this is really important for me to say, and I think you'll agree, Matt. We've been pushing Dr. Eddie Rose to do these Facebook Lives because we've spent so much time talking with him offline, hanging out. He's not saying, hey, let's go do Facebook Lives. We're calling him going, hey, we want to do another Facebook Live.
Yeah, and I appreciate
But
that.
I need to say this publicly
Yeah.
because what you just said, I don't want someone going, that's it. No, he's not selling himself. We're promoting him because we know you. We know us. I'll first one to say, I could use all the help in the world. Removing limiting beliefs, relieving the blockage. I could sit here and lie to you and say I'm Superman, but I'm not. I think I am sometimes, but plenty of times I don't. So we've had enough, again, we feel lucky, fortunate, blessed, and gifted to be able to talk with you. So that's why Matt and I were like, we're going to do what we can to promote Dr. Eddie to our audience. If it doesn't resonate with you, guess what? That's okay.
All right.
Crystals may not resonate with you, whatever doesn't. But if you're sitting back saying, at any point in your life, when you go to bed, man, I just wish I could. Or, I mean, how many times do people say, I wish, I wish, I wish? After meeting Dr. Eddie and realizing, holy crap, it doesn't have to be a wish. It now happens to be just a choice. We felt a really huge obligation, not just to bring it to you, but to keep bugging him as much as he'll allow us. But it's a gift. I'm being honest with you. It's just, and if you choose not to, then you're choosing to live with whatever anxiety and stress and crap because of whatever. If you didn't know, it's not your fault. But once you know, it's a choice.
Yeah.
And if it's
you have so many things, people have so many things to do. This many things to do every day, and like I gotta get this stuff done. I gotta do laundry. I gotta work. I gotta take care of the kids. I gotta do this, that. Oh, I want to take care of myself. I want to make myself better too. All right, but I'll do that later. And then you do all this, and by the time you get around to the part for you to work on yourself, you don't get to it.
you neglect you.
You're like, all right, tomorrow. You know what? I can work on myself tomorrow. The dishes are overflowing the sink. I gotta take the next hour to do all this. So you push your self-care and you push your learning. You push off what's gonna make you better, and you don't get to that. You stay at the I wishes. You don't get to it because you just don't get to it. You stay like, I'm going to bed now. I have to go to bed. I'm exhausted from doing all this stuff, and you're busy, but you're not actually getting anywhere.
Right, you're stressed,
You're not
you're
improving.
exhausted, you're all these things that many of which could be relieved
Right?
with that release.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, on behalf of Matt and I, that we're here pushing, prodding, pulling, and hopefully we'll continue to get as much of Dr. Eddie's time as possible for you, because it really is. It's the gift for you, it's the gift for us. And I just didn't want, since you had said that, anybody to misunderstand it.
Yeah, no, you guys are a blessing because, I'm my own best guinea pig. I say that all the time, and I do. I apply this to myself. If I get up in the morning and I feel like dog dirt, you do like, and then I said, wait a minute, I'm a hypnotist, and I do it on myself. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing a Facebook Live out in my yard. Hey, 15 minutes ago, I felt like I had the weight of the world on me.
Right.
But I don't allow that to stick. I don't stay there. I use the tools that I have, and I keep excelling. I keep improving. I have so many things that I want to work on that I'm actually working on little by little. I'm reversing the time. I'm trying to. I want to be able to. I got to a place where, whatever reason, I let myself go, and I say, okay, this is not the way I want to be. I threw a punch, and I felt like, good Lord, some little child could have think, that's right, took me down. No, that's ridiculous. And a lot of times we're programmed to say, well, I'm getting old. No. I want to maintain that speed. They say strength is the last to go. Well, I want to keep strong. I want to keep flexible. I want to keep fast. I want to maintain that I was watching a video of this guy who was like 100 years old.
Wow.
Doing his, martial arts, and it was just amazing. I think he just recently passed away. He was up in the hundreds.
Wow.
And he was amazing. And he actually did a cartwell.
Nice.
And I thought to myself, I am nowhere near his age, and I can't do a cartwheel. All right, let's get to it. Let's get this on, And so shedding the limitations, and that's my goal. I'm doing that in my everyday life. and I want to encourage people, and I feel obligated to compel to look at these amazing people. Now that I'm understanding how powerful our unconscious mind is, everybody is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is unlimited potential. Unless you have brain damage, you have unlimited potential. And my goal is I want to stimulate that. I feel like if I know this, how can I not tell people? And so I put everything else on hold. Now, I ultimately want to get back to training in martial arts because training makes me better.
Right.
I can test myself with the 25-year-olds,
Oh.
yeah. And so, but I want to, it's all about maintaining and improving myself, but I feel obligated, I feel compelled to encourage people and say, this is another, and in my opinion, like I've said before, and I say this over and over again, it's the fastest, in my opinion, the fastest, most effective way to deal with bad programming, and that's why I'm here.
Oh, I
That's
love it.
awesome.
All right, Thursday night, Friday night.
Yeah.
Thursday night this
Yeah.
week, Friday night this week, and if we get lots of shares and comments, we will go ahead and convince Dr. Eddie to do another one with us. But we've got such unlimited potential with this.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us,
Yeah.
and hopefully it was as entertaining for you as it was for us, Dr. Eddie.
Yes, bro. Thank you.
Thank
man.
you
You guys
so
are the
much.
best.
You're the
Yeah.
best.
Thank you so
These
much.
guys are the best.
You're the best. You're the
You
best.
guys are the best.
See you soon.
All right, man.